Okay, we are recording and streaming, so we'll open the meeting at 6:03 p.m.
6:03. And today is July 5th, 2022.
Here's Sean, who jumped on.
Yep, Sean is on. And we are having our meeting tonight because yesterday was a holiday.
Okay, I just brought Sean on. Yes, we have a hard stop. We have a 6:30 GAC meeting tonight. And so we have to stop this meeting a few minutes before that 6:30 time to get the live streaming and Zoom. We have to end this meeting and then resume. They have to resume the GAC meeting at 6:30. So we have a hard stop early at 6:25, 6:26. So we'll move right along. Please call attendance.
All right. Colby.
Here.
Robin, I'm here. Sean. I see you, Sean.
There we go. Sorry about that.
Hi, Sean. Tess.
Here.
Kevin. Kevin. Lee. Lee isn't.
Oh, wait, hold on. We have a phone call here. Let me see if this is it.
No, it's 347.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And Ron, our new member. Ron Babini.
I'm here. Oh, yeah. There we go.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 present out of 7.
Excellent, Ron. Excellent.
Thank you, Tess.
All right. Very good. Thanks, Robin. And then we'll go ahead and vote on these minutes. Motion A, to approve the GTLNC June 6, 2022 Public Safety Committee minutes. Do I have a first on this?
First, Tess.
Thanks, Tess. A second, please.
Sean.
Sean. All right. Discussion on this.
Robin, you asked for comments. I emailed them to you. Did you see them?
I did see them. Did I not change them?
I don't know. I'm looking at the old ones. We don't need to belabor it, but I just thought it would be good to.
Okay, hang on. Let me just. I did have them here, and I had some questions. No, this is your GAC. I had it pinned so that I could get back to it. Sorry, it was a long holiday weekend, and
That's all right. I took the weekend off email.
there was. I think there was one item I had a question on. Other than that, I thought everything
Made sense.
Yeah. Here, public safety agenda. Okay, number 1, under public comment, Jonathan Gregory, thank you to Tess for West Toluca Lake Residents Association meeting. So what does that mean?
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the minutes on the website, which do not include the suggested changes that I gave to you. So the suggested change, do you want me to go over them now or?
Well, since we are so short on time, let me just quickly look at this. Our senior rep name was spelled incorrectly. Yes, I can fix that. Correct the spelling of Sean Bishardi's last name. I can fix that. Please clarify my comment on page 3 as follows. Tess Taylor gave an extensive list of issues and crimes in West Toluca Lake and efforts being made to correct them. So what you're saying is you want me to put that statement that you said that?
Yes, please.
Okay. And then 5, please clarify my comment on page 3 as follows. Tess Taylor spoke of the lack of LAPD officers in the police academy. 107 officers are now on patrol in our area. Normally there would be 124. LAPD is losing officers at an alarming rate. See, the problem with this test is it's a lot of information.
All right, well then just use the first sentence or two because you left off officer and a couple of other things that make it unclear what I'm even talking about, and it's related to the police.
Okay.
And that needs to be clear.
Okay.
All right. Will you please? Thank you.
All right. Okay. Other than that, Any other discussion about the minutes?
Let's go to the public. Any stakeholder comments at this point just on the agenda? I'm sorry, on the minutes? Nothing here? Okay. Do you want us to do a vote on the amended or you
All
want
right,
to go back?
so
into-
motion A to approve the GTLNC June 6, 2022 Public Safety Committee minutes as amended. Robin, I'm a yes. Sean,
Yes.
Tess,
Yes.
Kevin is excused. Lee is excused. Ron, you were not here, so we're gonna put ineligible.
Abstain.
And Colby.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries 4-0-1.
Thanks, Robin.
Great.
Moving right along to general public comments. Please raise your hand or make yourself known. All right, I don't see any public comments. So we'll move on to committee member news and announcements, neighborhood reports. Officer Delbar is not here. He's still on maternity leave and will be probably the next
Until the
several
beginning of August.
weeks, unfortunately, but we're congratulating him on his new baby. I don't see Tiffany in attendance tonight. So we'll move on to Robin, watch lead.
And actually, the only thing I have for Neighborhood Watch is catalytic converter situation with a truck happened last week. I got a notice from one of my watch captains. Apparently they did some damage to the truck trying to get the catalytic converter out. And he did mention that there is a ring of thieves in the area and to please be alerted of that. And does anybody have any other information about catalytic converters?
Yes, there are catalytic converter etching events taking place. They get full very quickly. They're free. I've put in a word to get dates for new ones and they're working on it. So those are good to know and good to have. But if people are interested, and many people are, they should sign up early because they fill up.
Okay, great.
I want to add to that as well. I spoke with Officer Delbar about the opportunity of possibly doing something around us, something a little bit more local versus up towards the North Hollywood area. There's something here in Toluca Lake. We're still working on that. So once I hear it, we'll have an opportunity to just share that information.
Excellent.
I have a question. I didn't quite get some. Did you say they're catalytic converter education events?
No,
Etching.
Etching. They etch your VIN number on your catalytic converter and they make it, it makes it less desirable to steal because then it is traceable. And that is the thing that is the metals in the catalytic converter are what make it attractive to steal and then sell.
They're full of platinum. Okay. Yeah, the etching is very helpful, I think. LADT, I don't see. We're going to go on to any public comments on what we've been discussing in committee news and announcements. Don't see it or hear any public comments, so we're going to move on to ongoing business. Right, Robin? Or do you have anything else to add?
That's it.
Which brings us to the action idea to write a letter of support to the LAPD. This was brought up by Jonathan. I believe at our last meeting, we talked about it here and there. And it's, as it says, it's a letter of support to LAPD. It's LAPD what they're doing right. And it's not a CIS, of course. It would be, Jonathan, if you want to come on and talk a little bit about this, you're welcome to. Let's see. Hi,
Okay,
Jonathan.
I'm unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. Do you want to talk a little bit about this idea you had of the action letter to the LAPD?
Sure, you're correct. It would be a letter of action because you really only have two choices, CIS or a letter of action. When you delve into the function of a letter of action, you're writing, it's understood you're writing to city council. It doesn't make a lot of sense to write them how you feel. Rather, it makes sense to write people who are empowered to make decisions in the direction or in the best interests of what it is you're supporting. So to that end, I think that a letter of support for the LAPD can't say, we love our police, but rather has to give an academic approach to it in order to say how you want the city council to behave, to be supportive of the police, and in a gymnastic sort of way of language where it isn't critical or negative, but rather supportive. That's the best thing I could say now. I think it's important to evaluate any document on its own merit rather than baggage like who wrote it or whatever you can think of, because it really has to do with the stakeholders' benefit in letting the police know that we support them, we need them as a community and depend on them. And that sort of language has to be said in a more effective way. You can't just say sentiment, okay?
And would it be something like, can we suggest, or we support the hiring of more police officers? We support the an increased budget for the LAPD? You mean something like that as well?
All of that sort of stuff, because you're writing city council, and without criticizing them, you just send the signal in behalf of your stakeholders on what you want city council to be doing in order to enact the support of your police that you feel that you're demonstrating by their own capacity. So
And maybe we could ask them how else we could help support them. I mean, we've done a good job. I felt it was great of us to support PALS this past year with a NPC.
this is towards city council.
What's that?
You're directing everything towards city council and the mayor. I recommend it be to the mayor and copied to the 3 police officers at minimum, even including Officer Delbar, the Captain Mohammadi, and Captain, I think his last name's Lopez, the other captain in North Hollywood, and the chief of the police. So
The chief of police is Mohammadi.
No, the man that oversees all of LAPD.
Michelle, I think.
That's it. That's it.
More.
You're right. So those are the big names that you're writing, the council and the mayor, and those are the people who you're copying, because that's the signal that they're welcome in our community and we depend on them.
We do.
We would be addressing things like
Comments from the
understaffing.
board or stakeholders about this, or ideas on how to approach this letter? Tess, anything?
Jonathan, did you draft something up?
I did, but like I said, I think it's so important that people look at the document rather than, because sometimes people have dynamics that go between them. And if we can receive the document is divorced of any personalities, Colby has it. I work quite hard. I have no previous knowledge of the subject. So what I did is I read extensively into the Department of Justice and several Ivy League university studies that have occurred way back to the 80s. They're actually richer the further back you go, because they're not all convoluted by politics and things. But yeah, I derived a lot of this material because I have no base in it by reading, and it inspires how you think, what we can communicate to city council that they themselves influence, as well as enable them to recognize we're not presenting ourselves as a bunch of stupid, uninformed people. You have to demonstrate you know a little bit about what's going on.
Well, Colby, if you have a copy of that draft, what do you think?
Yeah, I just had a chance to look at it today. I was on vacation for the past week, and Jonathan sent it over. He sent it on the 29th.
Well, generally, I think it's a really good idea, and I agree, Jonathan. If we show some knowledge, that's good. Some of the things I highlighted at the last meeting were taken from some comments of the gal representing, gotta get all there's so many acronyms, the CPAP, the Community Police Advisory Board. I listened to one of their members give some comments at another neighborhood council meeting, and she said that enrollment at the academy is down. We have fewer officers in the area because it's hard, it's hard to get candidates into the academy. Then when they graduate, they have to, they obviously have to pass, and then there's a probationary period. We're just not getting the supply of police officers replenished because they've retired or taken early retirement, and it's just become harder to become a cop. So I'm very much in favor of a letter of that kind. So
yeah. I think it should have some actionable, as Jonathan was saying, not just, hey, we like you guys a lot.
Yeah.
But, hey, let's hire more police and let's celebrate the police. And I think the last 2 or 3 years, they felt really, they felt a real lack of support from the public. And it's probably, somewhat frightening to become a police officer, much more now so than ever. Because at least you had the support of the public and the respect of the public in the past to help. It's a reasonably well-paying job, but compared to, really literally having your life on the line at any one moment, and being responsible for the life and safety of everyone around you, it's just an enormous undertaking. And I think almost in this letter we should ask what they suggest. Ask the police, ask the officers what they want. I don't know. I mean, but it's definitely something we should do, and more. It shouldn't just be a letter of commendation. It should be something else.
Colby, I'm
We
just.
do have to move on. We have less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to move on to Caltrans if we can, because we're 6:19.
Okay, so new
No.
business Caltrans cleanup. Jonathan, did you want to speak on this topic?
Yeah, but because we only got 5 minutes, what I'll do is I'll just be general because I want to respect the time thing. Is everything is how do you say when you throw the toggle switches on the on position? It's really hard getting people on board to look at this, be on the same page. I think we say Caltrans. Steve Ferguson from Nazarian's office is just fantastic. There's not any coordination that I'm immediately aware of. I mean, I have just been on daily contact with Caltrans and the council member's office and the police. I want to also mention I've spoken to several police officers, and I have to tell you, my personal experience is just unrelenting cooperation, frustration on the part of the unmanageability of the environment, even from the police. But the question that I wanted to share, the answer I wanted to tell you is, at one point in a conversation I asked, because I was feeling so missing Officer Delbar, I really needed to talk to him. I just happened to say, do we have anybody I can talk to? And while Officer Delbar is away, it's reasonable for him to be away on maternity for that purpose, but we really miss him. And the officer said to me, he's a really nice guy. We agree on that, but we are so wickedly understaffed. There is no one. But he said to me, what do you need right now? And he went into and checked out exactly what, I'm not going to mention what it was, but the cooperation is always there. And one other thing, I talked to someone from the security of the LA Post Office, something we know a little about. The crime is outrageous that's going on. I'm not going to say certain things on a public meeting. The source of the crime is generally understood by the government. And when California starts sending out those $1,200 checks or whatever that, they varied them out, they're planning to do for the fuel, it will cause the crime in the mail to skyrocket because that's how it works. Anyway, back to the time, we don't have it. So thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan. So back to, Caltrans. You brought that up a little bit, but do you want to talk, or Tess?
There's a dispute going on that Vineland intersection. There's not enough time to really get into it, so let's skip it.
Yeah, and you mentioned or a fence, a taller fence or something like that.
They said the fence is fixed. It's evidently not fixed. They sent a picture from 2021.
Okay.
It's just all over the place.
Really?
People are
They
just
kind of lied to see if they were kind of misdirecting you felt?
No, I don't detect anybody purposefully deceiving me or anybody else, but rather everything is so miscalculated, poorly staffed, understaffed, unaccountable, all
Uncoordinated.
those words. Huh?
Uncoordinated.
Yeah. I mean, to a point where you just go, wow, how did we get here? That's what this week is.
On Caltrans, Jonathan had a good point, which was to assign specific people to specific on and off ramps, and there are 7. I created a little PowerPoint. I'm not going to share it right now because we don't have enough time, but most of them are in the, the western portion of Greater Toluca Lake, but there's also on, let's see, on Cahuenga, the on-ramp onto the 134 and the off-ramp, which are very often, especially the off-ramp, just littered with garbage. So this was Jonathan's idea, is to assign one person to one or more of those off-ramps. I think I talked to you about that, Sean, and you said you would take a couple of them so that we could just get.
I see Steve Ferguson just came on attending.
Oh, good. Steve is a guest at our Government Affairs Committee meeting in just a few.
Oh, okay. So maybe he'll have to come on. Yeah, I might have to bump him off.
Yeah, if you would. So
let me tell him right now, because he might not understand. Hi, Steve. We're gonna have to close this meeting. This is not GAC right now. We're gonna have to close this meeting in about 2 or 3 minutes, and then please sign back on at about 6:30, because it takes me a few minutes to recycle.
He could stay on if he wanted to and just mute, because
I have to shut this meeting completely down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I have to cut it off, and then I don't want everyone gets bumped off, and then he'll have to rejoin at a different meeting.
Okay. Does he clear on that?
He left the meeting. I don't see him right now, so maybe.
Yeah, I don't,
message.
Okay.
I don't see him.
He was here for a moment.
So,
Okay.
but Colby's gonna have to close the meeting.
He'll be fine. All right. Got
So
it.
any other, in the 2 minutes we have left, public comment, anyone else want to say something briefly?
Can I just add one more thing I want you to be aware of? There's a massive misunderstanding of what's going on with the municipal code 4118. And that's that sign you see on streets throughout Greater Toluca Lake, no littering. It's a mess, but I think I understand it, but it seems that almost no one understands it. Okay, enough said.
Jonathan, what was the code number?
41.18, you write LAMC 41.18.
Municipal code
Okay.
L what?
LAMC
AMC,
41.18.
great, perfect.
I did a lot of research to understand. I think I understand it, but I need to get that confirmed by Kevin what's his name? The prosecutor?
Kevin Duffner.
Daphne. Thanks.
Yeah. So, that's the one related to special enforcement zones, Robin. And to just recap the comment I made before Steve came on, assigning off and on ramps in the Greater Toluca Lake area for just, hey, there's trash or a fence has been breached or something, because if we keep on top of it, before it gets worse, I think it will be an improvement. And also we have a cleanup on this Saturday, July 9th. We're getting a power wash. Tiffany has organized a power wash from, I think, the LA Conservation Corps for under the Vineland underpass, which is great. And hopefully we'll get that on the Riverside underpass as well. And we keep cleaning up the same area over and over and over again. And it keeps getting just overrun with trash almost immediately within 24 hours. So this is what we're dealing with.
I want to add one more thing before we part. I wanted
30 seconds. Yes.
It's short. I wanted you to know what the police told me is Studio City and our area, Greater Toluca Lake, are what they described as the worst afflicted. So no one should mislead us into believing
that this is normal.
Different. Thanks.
Okay.
And I have a question about the trash, because I know from all the cleanups we've done near Riverside Drive against the alley, trash, because people throw things out their car window and trash whooshes, because of the speed of the cars, the off ramps are kind of like a collect all. Are you talking about that, or are you talking about like homeless people dumping trash?
Both.
Okay.
And if you've seen photos, we have collected literally a cubic ton, over a cubic ton, that is not an exaggeration, at every cleanup for the last 9 months. I think Ron was going to make a comment. Ron, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I know you guys didn't include this, because it's outside the actual borders of Toluca Lake per se, but the Pass Avenue exit is one that I would take responsibility for at least reporting it, not going up there and cleaning it up. I clean enough trash out of the gutters now, but are we talking about making Caltrans aware of these trash? Okay,
Exactly.
then let me please put Pass Avenue exit on there.
And when you say
And I will
Pass Avenue on the
Burbank. That's
side,
Burbank.
It's Burbank.
Yes, Burbank.
Yep.
That was on
Ron,
my
you're gonna
original
have to,
plan.
you're gonna have to talk to your, you have a whole different setup.
We have to close the meeting. I'm sorry, we have to close the meeting.
Okay.
6:28.
Ron, drop me a line.
All
Okay.
right, it's 6:28 PM. We're closing the meeting. Thank you so much. We are
Okay,
next meeting
and
September
our-
5th, 2022 at
yes.
7 PM.
Yes, we are dark in August.